Hello, guys. It's Stefan from the Hypermanic Entrepreneur. Today, I want to talk about um, data management, essentially. And if you're in a very early stage in the digitalization process, you're probably using a lot of Excel files, have a lot of Excel files for a lot of different things. Either if you're a busy individual using it for your own purposes, um, or working in an or working in a company where there's a lot of work with Excel files. And to say the least, uh, even though Excel is pretty flexible, which is an advantage when processing files, it's not ideal. It's far from ideal for actual documentation and data management, as it's very difficult to actually process it on a larger scale. It's not a very scalable solution. So if you're looking for ways to transfer it to go at least a step further, um, that's what I want to talk about today. Okay, how can you take a step further towards actually getting more insights from your data and actually getting more structure of your data? And what I would advise, there are a lot of things you should do when you're in this early stage, but in the beginning, it's important at least to get to get structure and uh, to properly understand and standardize the data you have in the best possible ways, right? Making sure that, okay, if there is for instance, one particular Excel files that it's generated a new one each month, for instance. Okay, the column names always have the columns always have the same column names. It's always the same data types. Okay, how do you deal with errors, deviations, and so on? Okay, the same type of setup for each of them. There aren't kind of extra calculations in and the other if this is actually uh, saved enough actually saved, right? And there there are there are a lot of options to integrate these into your Microsoft architecture when you're like even in the beginning, even when taking basis in these Excel files from the beginning. And one there are several alternatives to how you can do this. Like, you don't need to implement advanced databases and ERP systems right away. On If you're a bigger organization, that may be necessary eventually. But if you're just taking this process, you probably have to do this step first in order for to get better structure and a better control of your data. And the step first may be like one alternative is to just upload and manage these Excel files in their own SharePoint folders, so that it can basically be evaluated together, for instance, in Power BI or Power Apps or so on. That's one alternative, which is directly possible to just drop off all the Excel files. If you have a lot of them, that may be uh, that's at least one option. And another option is to use the lists functionality in SharePoint, basically just importing the Excel file or a CSV file and then just saving it in Power Apps, and then you can integrate that with whatever other functions, whichever other apps and so on you want to use the data for. Because when you first have it kind of saved in the Microsoft architecture properly, then there are a lot more options for how you can what you can do with that data, and it's a lot easier to manage as well than having a lot of Excel files laying around everywhere. And yeah, it's just not very organized. So yeah, that's what I would generally say if you're in this very early stage, okay, consider look at look at the specific look at one file at or one type of file at a time. For instance, okay, if there's a weekly expense report, for just one example, that could be the case, right? Okay, there's an Excel file that's established weekly. Okay, it always follows more or less the same format. Okay, but you need to make sure, okay, it always have the same column names, it always have the same data type, and so on. And then those can be saved either either in the same folder and or in or uh, or imported as lists, and then they can be saved as databases in the Microsoft in your Microsoft environment. And then basically you could build on that either in Power BI or Power Apps. There are a lot of options for how to use and apply your data, but it's the behind the scenes that are really important for actually making those types of things possible. And I think this making the step from Excel is absolutely crucial for that matter, because as mentioned, even though there are a lot of possibilities with a lot of there is a lot of flexibility with Excel. It's very useful in many cases. It's not great for documentation. It's not great for data management. It's not a data management tool, and it shouldn't be used as a database, right? So you, I would advise uh, to implement a process where even if you're using Excel for calculations and processing and so on, if when you're finished with the report or whatever you're doing in Excel, and this is something that is going to be saved, it shouldn't just be saved as an Excel file unless that is as a part of the overall data structure you have in Microsoft or whatever other data management system you have. Because if you truly want your organization or your process or whatever you're doing to be truly data driven, get all the value you can out of your data, which is extremely valuable, has a lot of powerful applications when used in the right uh, for the right purposes, then yeah, there are a lot of things you can do. And yeah, it truly is losing your money when you aren't actually making the most out of your data. It's all right there, but if you're not using it, then you're losing it to put it shortly. But yeah, I hope this video has been helpful to bring light to some of these things. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you wonder about anything, or if you want to learn more about how to get started on the step towards digitalizing your business. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe for more, and I will see you all later. See you.